back. This is Chili Davis, and I'm back to do another video. This is a video where we're going to talk about credit today. Today we're going to talk about the FICO score, the Fair Isaac score. This is a score used to calculate how much credit you are given by your bank or credit union or other financial institution. So today I'm going to go over what it takes to have a 700 or 750 or 800 above. But first, we need to talk about the basics, the 5 basics. We talk about amounts owed, payment history, credit mix, length of history, and new credit. So what does it take to get a 750 FICO score? Well, it's going to take at least 5 years of good credit history. Number one factor is payment. So you can't really miss any payments if you have a short payment history. It is one of the most dire affecting factors in your credit. If you miss a payment, that's it. The whole credit game is over. Your score will at least drop by 50 points or 100 points. So number one is payment history. Number two is amounts owed. So that means if you have a $5,000 credit card, you shouldn't owe more than 30% on it. Truly, you shouldn't owe more than 10% on it. But let's just say you have a $5,000 credit card. It shouldn't be more over than $1,000 on that $5,000 credit card. So less than 30%, but it is a 30% of your score. So that means it is over 250 points to your score. Now, mind you, out of 850 points, 297 points is payment history. So that's why when I say, you know, hey, don't miss a payment, it's not because I'm being negative. It's because it is the first thing they look for to determine whether or not you're eligible for any more credit, okay? The number two part is amounts owed, which is the balance on your credit card, like I just mentioned. But we can always fix or adjust that. We could pay a card down. We could take out a consolidation loan. We could do several activities to fix this 30% right here, the amounts owed. Now, the third factor that matters is called your credit mix. So this is 10% of your score, about 85 points roughly. 85 points of the 850 points is credit mix. So that means, do you at least have one credit card? That is a huge factor. I talked to a lady last week about her credit, and she didn't realize not having a credit card. This lady was 60 years old. She did not have a credit card because everything was done financially in her husband's name. Prior to him passing, he had the credit card. He had the home loan. He had the, I mean, they lived on a lake at one point. But the problem is people don't know how to manage their credit, or they don't realize what credit is and what credit isn't. So this is what this channel is about, which is financial literacy. And today we're talking about credit. All right, so 10% of your score is credit mix. So you need one credit card, you need one installment loan, that could be a car loan, and then you need a short-term loan that could be something roughly for 12 months. So that would be usually a signature loan. A signature loan is when you can walk into your bank and say, hey, I need $2,000. You sign your name and they cut you a check for $2,000. That's what you call a signature loan. It's based off your credit history with that financial institution. And then the next most important score, one of the final most important score is length of history. Banks and credit unions need to know that you're a responsible person. So they would prefer to see your credit history on one credit card or one car loan for at least the last 2 years. That is the very beginning of good credit. People often wonder why they can't get credit. It's because they have no history. Maybe they don't have a car loan. Maybe they're 20. Maybe they don't have a credit card. They're in college. But the only thing a bank has to go by is your credit history. So that's the fourth biggest factor. And the last biggest factor is 10% new credit. And all that is banks and credit unions want to know from time to time, you're taking out new credit every 1 to 2 years. You know, you need a new piece of furniture, you go on a trip, some sort of way they can see that, you know, you're relatively good with your credit. They want to see some new credit every few years on your credit profile. Okay, so this is how you get to a 750 credit score. Good payment history, reduce the amounts owed on your credit card, and mix of credit. So that means at least one credit card and an installment loan. That could be a car loan or signature loan. And the last, at least 2 years of credit history so that the credit union or financial institution can see how you've paid your bills in the past. So this is the accurate picture of what it takes to get a 750 credit score. Now, I'm going to go through a credit profile really quickly. And this is what you call a Vantage score. This is not the FICO score, but this person has a 700 FICO score. And I'm just going to go over how did this, you know, score go up 16 points. Remember, I talked about payment utilization. This is how your score changes month to month, is the amounts owed on a credit card. So when someone pays down a credit card, basically their credit score goes up. And if we look at see what's changed, you'll see two things actually happened. Credit limit was increased, but do you see this Navy Federal credit card was decreased by $1,100, and this Fingerhut also was decreased by $12. This is how you increase your credit score, paying down your credit card balances. So that's the secret. That's all that changed that jumped that score 16 points. And now we're going to look at the 5 factors because everybody loves to see, okay, how do you get excellent payment history, excellent credit score, 700 or 750? Number 1, as I mentioned before, excellent payment history. Number 2, credit card use. So this is the way that makes a difference. As you can see, the impact of the score being over 74% is a high impact. And they indicate it here on Credit Karma with a red bar. So if this person wants to get, right now they have like a 705, but if they wanted a 750 or 720, all they need to do is pay down this credit card. That's all credit is once you get your credit straight. Here it is. It says your credit card balances are pretty high. A good rule of thumb, keep your balances below 30% of your limit. That's it. And as you can see, the average on this credit card, the balances are over 90%. But you see this is the oldest card on this credit profile, which is a Capital One. It's the smallest limit. It has 0 balance. The second largest limit here is a Fingerhut, and it only has a $2,000 balance, but yeah, it's only using 3%. The third card here is a Discover card, which again is pretty high at 81%. So if this person was either to get a credit card increase of $2,000, like which actually did happen, this would go down by down to 41% use. So there's different tricks. You could get a credit card increase, or you could pay down the debt. So that's one way to improve your credit. And as I stated here, if you just keep paying down this credit card, the score will shoot up. And Credit Karma lets you know how to do pretty high. And good rule of thumb, like I mentioned earlier, 30% of your balance. And that goes back to this My FICO here, where it says 30% owed. Okay, so that's how you get a good credit score. Like I said, this person pretty much has a 705, but if they wanted a 750, all they would have to do is pay off the credit card balance and the score would shoot up even further. And now it will, of course, scores will vary a little different because like if we go into the profile on the Equifax, which we just looked at TransUnion, but if we look at the Equifax, Equifax is a little bit different. So even if you have 5 credit cards like this person does, Equifax may only record 4 of them. So you have to realize that all your credit cards will not report to all 4 bureaus. So as you can see, again, excellent payment history, 100% on time. Credit utilization is only down 80% because all the credit cards aren't recorded on the Equifax profile that are on the TransUnion profile. So you have the Capital One, you have the Finger Hut. So that, like I said, the profile is a little bit different depending on which bureau is displaying it. And you look at different things. Now, one thing I didn't like about this profile is it has one collection. This one collection can hurt you. It's one collection, but it's only 50 bucks. This is something that can be paid off pretty quickly. If you have one derogatory, you want to pay it off, call the collection agency. And if it's, if it's under $100, you might not have to pay it off to go get approved for something else, because this person did just go get approved for a credit line increase. But if it's over $1,000, you need to get it removed. Okay. But I prefer anything to be on any of my clients to get all collections all removed. But this one looks like it snuck by us. This one collection for $50. Now, the huge impact, what we talked about earlier, which was length of credit history, is 15% of the score. So again, this profile is suffering because it only has 3 years of history. Now, the person actually has a 705 FICO score, but the issue is they only have 3 years of history. Now, I work with this client because they're a good friend, but the problem was because no one told them about credit. We just really started on this journey about 3 years ago. So after 2 years, he got to 650, and then after the 3rd year, his scores jumped into the 7. They initially scores was 720 or something like that. But either way, here, there, he's basically in the 700s. And then total impact of scores, again, keeping all your accounts open as long as possible. So the more long history accounts you have, the better. And then lastly, that's impacting the score of the person is these, which he has low impact. But if he had one, this probably would be a green bar because he just inquired about credit line increase. So that's okay though. This particular credit profile has a 705 credit score. There's not there's different factors going on in people's lives where they have kids in college or they're changing jobs, just all kind of stuff, reasons why people may need credit. So anyway, this is an excellent profile. The only thing hurting it is the amount owed, which is impacting it from keeping it from a 720. But these parts are long-term fixes. Length of credit history, credit age. And another thing people don't tell you is it depends if you're piggybacking. So if you're piggybacking on your parents' credit or aunt, uncle's credit, the only way to fix your own individual age is your credit card. Some bureaus count the authorized users, others don't. So based on this, as we can see, they don't count the authorized user, but if they did, this would probably be more like a 15-year credit age. And in that case, this person could have an 800 credit score. But those are the type of problems you want to have with credit. You want to have the problem of having a 700 versus 800. Those are the type of problems you want. You don't want to have the problems where you're in the 600s, in the low 600s versus being in the high 600s. So I teach about financial literacy because it's something that impacted me throughout my life. And I thought I could take the shortcuts, but eventually I had to learn to do it the right way. And a lot of it I learned on my FICO. My FICO is an excellent resource, and also several Facebook groups out there. I belong to a Facebook group called the 680 Club. And in this group, we talk about how to get the 680 credit score. We talk about how to fix your credit score. I know these are funny memes, what life looks like when you have a 720 versus life look like when you have a 420. And man, it's real funny because this is how the bank looks at you when you walk in the door with less than 600 or less than 700 these days. This is how the bank looks at you, like you're crazy. So just a little humor there. But things that impact your credit, late payments. And this guy here, Mike, he talks about getting the 80,000 credit card. And I've been part of Navy for a few years. But how do you get $80,000? We can share it. We can teach you all that. But the number one thing, you have to get your credit fixed to where you're at least in the upper 700s. And I have several people in this group who will help you get there. This guy here works on credit repair. So this is my group, the 680 Club, how to get a 700 or above. Now, I've also been part of several others. So I think it's the 720 Club. Not sure. Trying to see if there's maybe the Navy Federal Credit Union Club. This is an excellent credit group to be part of. If you have ambitions of getting your credit improved over time, join the Navy Federal Credit Union Fan Club on Facebook. Okay, so if you want good credit cards like Chase, Freedom Flex, Sapphire, you have to fix your credit. That's all I can say. And then if you want even better credit cards, you're gonna need, like if you want an American Express, you're gonna need that 750 FICO score. So I highly encourage you to continue to watch my channel, but also join groups like Navy Federal Credit Union Fan Club and Road to 750 Credit Club. It's another group. Well, they have Road to 850 Credit Group, but join one of these credit groups. I'm trying to find the one that I was part of. And they're all pretty popular, all pretty good, but I'm trying to find the ones that really help me restore my credit and get my credit fixed. But like I said, Navy Federal Fan Club, you can go in there and you can see people at 800s all the time, and you can get a few tips and learn how to improve your credit step by step, walk by walk, because it is a journey. Okay, so this is how you get a 700 to 750 credit score. Watch your 5 credit factors, which is amount owed, payment history, credit mix, length of history, new credit. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always hit me up at chili.label@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and have a great day.